Right, we're going to look at areas and circumferences of circles now, and again there are some formulae here that you need to learn. You're not given them at all. If you've got a circle, the terms that you need to be aware of here are the distance from the centre to the outside of the circle is known as the radius, which we tend to use r for. The distance around the outside, the perimeter of the circle, is known as the circumference. Okay, so that would be the distance all the way around the outside of the shape, and that's usually called c. And the formula that links these two looks like that, 2 pi r, where pi is a constant. You can either use 3.14 for pi, or on your calculator you've got a button for it, which is, if you just see it there above the times 10 to the power of, okay, in yellow, so we'll be using that on the calculator. As with normal algebra, where there are no mathematical symbols, it means that there's a times there. So that means 2 times pi times the radius. If we want to find out about the area of the circle, it's a different formula. It also includes pi, but we're going to write pi r squared. So those two formulas you need to remember and you need to be able to use. So let's take a look at the sort of questions we have to deal with here. Okay, so these are usually given a context. First question. A circular pond has a radius of 6.5 meters. Find the circumference of the pond, giving your answer to an appropriate degree of accuracy. Well, the appropriate degree of accuracy is unlikely to be ever more than 1 decimal place, or round it to the nearest whole number. So the circumference is 2 pi r. I'm writing that down, so I'm telling the examiner I'm about to do the right thing. Well, in this case, that's going to be 2 pi times the radius, which is 6.5. So on your calculator, you can just write that in as 2. So to get the pi, it's shift to get the yellow, and then there, and up comes your pi. So we're going to do 2 pi times 6.5 equals, leaves the answer in terms of pi, but we want to turn it into a decimal, 40.8. And the units are going to be, circumference is perimeter, which is distance, so it's whatever units you're given, meters in this case. Area, for part B, calculate the area of the surface of the pond. So that means that here's my circular pond, the radius is 6.5. So I found out that if I wanted to walk exactly all the way around the outside of that pond, that's how much distance I would travel. The surface area is just the area of the circle. So I'm going to write down my formula. Area equals pi r squared, which in this case is going to be pi times 6.5 squared. So on my calculator, I'll type it in exactly as I've written it. Shift to get the pi times 6.5, and there's my squared button, equals, and that's going to be 132.7. Area is meters squared. Question 2. Here, note in the question that they're telling you you have to state your units, which means if you don't, you're going to lose marks. We're still with ponds. This circular pond has got a radius of 8.2. Perimeter, well, just remember, perimeter is circumference when it comes to a circle, so that's what that means. So C equals 2 pi r. C equals 2 pi times, and the radius is 8.2. So on my calculator, 2 pi times 8.2, 51.5, and it's meters, and it's distance because we're talking about perimeter, so it's just 51.5 meters. Area, pi times r squared, pi times 8.2 squared. On the calculator, pi times 8.2, there's my squared button, 211.2, and units meters squared. So long as you can remember the two formula, C equals 2 pi r, A equals pi r squared, then these are fairly straightforward questions, or they can be. Okay, in question 3, our pond has turned into a lawn, but apart from that, area, pi r squared equals pi times 6 squared. On your calculator, pi times 6 squared, 113. Now to one decimal place, look beyond the first decimal number. It's 9, which is 5 or more, so that rounds up to 113.1. Units, it's area, it's meters squared. The gardener wishes to put an edge in around the circumference of the lawn. Calculate the length of edging needed. Well, that's perimeter. Yeah, if there's your circle, you want to know the distance all the way out along the outside, which will give you the length of edging that you need. So circumference is 2 pi r, which is going to be 2 pi times 6. 2 pi times 6, 37.7, or because he's got to go to B&Q to buy it, he's not going to buy 37.7, he's going to buy 38 meters of edging. Question 4. Again, this question, they're telling you that you need to give it to an appropriate degree of accuracy. So at best, one decimal place. Radius 7.5, area. Area equals pi r squared. Area equals pi times 7.5 squared. Pi times 7.5 squared. 176.7. It's area, it's centimeters squared. Perimeter, circle, perimeter is circumference, 2 pi r. 2 pi times 7.5. 47.1. Perimeter is distance, it's just length, so it's going to be 47.1 centimeters. Okay, and the last one of the most straightforward circle questions here. So we've got a circular table. It's got a radius of 2.35 meters. The top of the table is painted with varnish, and 1 litre of varnish covers 4 square meters. How many tins of varnish must be bought to paint the top of the table? Well, in order to do that, we've got to work out the area. So the area, pi r squared, pi times 2.35 squared. pi times 2.35 squared. So that's 17.3 square meters. And we got to buy varnish, and varnish comes in tins of 4. Tins which cover 4. So I need to see how many 4s go into this. So I need 17.3 divided by 4. 4.3 tins. But I can't buy 4.3 tins, so I'm going to need to buy, well, if I buy 4 tins, I'm not going to have enough, so I'm going to have to buy 5 tins. Alright, just quickly trip through that again. Find the area of the table, 17.3 square meters. 1 tin of varnish will cover 4 square meters, so to see how many tins I need, you're going to divide 17.3 by 4. That comes to 4.3 tins. You can't buy 0.3 of a tin, so you're either going to buy 4 or 5. Well, if you buy 4, you're going to run out, so you need to buy 5. The circumference, well, we know that that's 2 pi r. 2 pi times 2.35. 2 pi times 2.35. 14.7, no, because the next one is 5 or more, so 14.8. And the unit, it's distance, so it's just meters.